This one might be a little bit dark, but I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to do it because it's something that's been on my mind. And I feel like I got to get it out. I got to get it out before it drills a hole. It burrows a hole in my consciousness, right? And then, I fall in. So, I got to say it, and I apologize if it triggers anybody. That's not really what I'm here to do. But I think that a space where we can be honest with ourselves and each other as veterans, as men, as women, as humans, I think that kind of space is necessary because a lot of the things people talk about, people glorify the military a lot, right? Especially in America. Like we could go down the track of the psychological warmongering mentality that the colloquial American or the colloquial West has kind of in this innate way built into the society. We could talk about that, but it's romanticized. A lot of the things that service members deal with is romanticized to a degree that, when it gets difficult, you are more celebrated, that you survived the difficulty than checked up on to see if the difficulty had any detrimental effects. You know what I mean? We can barely get anything from, the VA, some of these programs, be it the long lines, the waiting lists, the incompetent people that work there, all of it culminates together to be, a useless function of what we would probably really need to make it as veterans, to make it as people, that have to reacclimate themselves with society. But I've said a lot on this platform already. Okay. I've said a lot on this platform already about life during and after military service. Some things were funny because they were meant to be. Some were toxic because that's how it happened, but everything was true. Everything was true because it is what it is. Being in the military is difficult for reasons people don't understand or know. It's difficult for reasons that they don't know that they don't know. Service members are constantly in situations that test their ability to look their humanity in the face and put a bullet straight through the dome of it. Some service members are put in situations where they look themselves in the face and do the same, sadly. I remember having to actively tell my body that what it was feeling wasn't real, like the exhaustion, the lack of nutrients, the intangible emotional weight of knowing that real human connection maybe was not in the stars for me, right? It wasn't something that I could have because connection requires presence. Presence requires time, and I don't own my own time. But even as I say that right now, my own mind is telling me that I'm just complaining. It's telling me that I don't need any of that to do the job, right? It's telling me that I have nothing to complain about because at least I'm not a combat vet. But is that the litmus test for undue stress? Is that the metric by which my depression is meant to be measured? Like combat? Like at what titration, I wonder, at what titration threshold does my depression become allowable or justified or understood? Because here's the thing, wearing a uniform does not mean you're going to see combat, right? The military is not an if-then statement ending with everybody holding a weapon, fighting for their life. But the problem is that due to the fact that the purpose of the military is ultimately and in some way, shape, or form combat, the likelihood of being managed with combat in mind is extremely high. And I think that creates a lot of unnecessary restrictions and pressure in otherwise relaxed conditions. I mean, toxic commands will have you standing by for this and staying late for that, hurry up and wait to get called in for nothing and extended for everything. But the human brain does not know the difference between that kind of stress and this other kind of stress. And for most of us, in and out of uniform, stress isn't something that we successfully manage. It's something that we cope with. Cigarettes, liquor, partying, sex, all manner of reckless behavior becomes a routine function of our reality in some small attempt to make our dopamine match our cortisol. And some of y'all won't believe me when I tell you that the leadership allows it, as long as you don't get caught, because getting caught means the organization looks bad and they will make an example out of you for the rest of the prisoners to fully grasp the nature of their current reality. Those enablers will respect a smoke break more than a bathroom break. They'll indulge getting wasted before going to see mental health at medical until you're going to see the DAPA. Because there's no mental health days, man. But don't worry. If you need to let off some steam, they get it. They understand. Just don't drive drunk, all right? I'll see you on Monday. It's always call me if you need a ride from the bar instead of maybe don't go out to the bar this weekend. Sometimes it's even them providing the copious amounts of unnecessary alcohol. But if you need some time to go visit your family back home because the phone calls are too short and the emails are too vague, well, we got a rough import period coming up, shipmate. I need you here. Do you have use or lose? Absolutely. But if you use it, you lose. And there's this unspoken law that dictates dictates that your ability to function is more important than how you function. Showing up every day with a clean shave and a good-looking uniform is more important than whether or not your cortisol levels are so high that you didn't even sleep last night, because it turns out fight or flight is not conducive to dreaming. Your family life might be so broken that you can't even focus on the mission, so you inevitably fuck some shit up, causing a major incident. But don't worry though, we got you covered on that testosterone treatment. And you remember what I said earlier about killing your humanity? The real fucked up part is that you'll convince yourself that you're the problem when your body is telling you that your environment is. Stop being weak, but you're not. Everybody else is doing it, not the way you think. This is what I signed up for. You didn't read that shit for real. I gotta play to win, but you're playing their game. I myself cannot even begin to tell you all the things that I can't put into words, but it's not all bad. You know, you develop relationships with people you otherwise wouldn't. You depend on people you otherwise shouldn't, and you end up trusting people that in any other situation you probably couldn't. The fact is, while everything I said and whatever I didn't say may be true, another more potent truth exists. You started this on a tow line, ended up towing the line, and now you're a number on a spreadsheet of the bottom line. Listen to all the service members out there coping. Seek help and document it. Find refuge, but trust no one. Give them what they ask for, but leave nothing behind. They'll take, you'll struggle, but the real game is chess, and the goal is to keep your righteous mind. As always, please remember that if I ain't say it, I ain't mean it.